If he changed the name, he'll have to drop down.
Come on!
Oh, that cuts a bit sharp, that, doesn't it? We'll have to have a look at that. Okay, folks. Well, it is an unusual one. It's Sunday. It ain't Thursday. Right. Okay, folks. So the reason we're on Sunday is because, obviously, we'd postponed due to one, I had a few issues, and Jason, who was due to come on the show, couldn't come on. We'd postponed it to today. And unfortunately, Jason, again, has had a few issues there as well. So he's not able to get on. So anyway, we're going to crack on with an experimental Sunday afternoon show, which let's see how interesting that might be. And also, just to let everybody know, we're going to have, after today, a bit of a break. So we are going to actually, I think, have about 3 weeks off. So we're going to recommence on the 21st of July. That's 2 shows before the beginning of the season. And, we will take it from there and see how we go. Chaps, I don't know about you. I'm getting absolutely nothing on here. Are we actually...
Yeah, we're live.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think today's show, there are some topics to talk about. I know Nigel's done a little bit of looking into some of the odds for some of the football next season. We'll have a look at that as well. But also what we'll do today, and I know Greg is only brand new to us, but we'll have a little reminisce on proper football and the season that we've had, setting it up and getting it going, and some of the highlights. So we'll do a little bit of that as well. But Jason can't be with us today, but we are going to, during the course of the next couple of weeks, we will be doing a proper interview with Jason. And so keep an eye out for that. That'll be on our YouTube channel. So keep an eye out for that. Get over to YouTube and subscribe. Afternoon, Mr. Ben Higgins. Okay, so folks, I think we crack straight in. Shall we start with Derby County?
Yep.
So, question to you all, and you can all have your say. One, Wayne Rooney leaving, but also the fact that Sean Dyche has been put as maybe the favourite to take over. And some people say, wow, that's a bit of a drop. But for me, I think it would be a great move for him, because all them doubters, he pulls that off with Derby, which he's more than capable of doing. My view is, I don't think it's a bad move. Big club, Derby. Just because they've gone down, don't mean to say not a big club. Right, let's get your opinions. Let's start with Cally, mate, because you're close to Derby County. What do you think the goings-on at that club have been like this week?
There's a lot of people saying that they still think Mel Morris is involved in this takeover somewhere. Maybe he's in the background, I don't know. But I sort of had a feeling Rooney wouldn't stick around. I don't blame him. He's done as well as he could with what he's had to work with. And I think he was sort of more or less banking on someone taking over the club that was going to make money available to get the right players in and let him get the team playing the way he wants them to play. But I think he's realised that's not going to happen now. So, I don't blame him. But like I said, Derby's a big club, massive club. They'll still have most of the sport they had this year, next year, and hopefully, the right manager gets in there, they'll get him back up again.
definitely.
I personally don't mind seeing Sean Dyche there. You know, I think he's got enough in him to know what it takes to get out of them divisions.
Damo's just put up that David Clowes, has been given the preferred status today.
You're right.
Yeah.
Local big Derby fan as well, evidently, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's been given the preferred status today.
Was he chairman once
preferred
before?
bidder, yeah.
I think I personally think Rooney. I think Rooney's been waiting to go once the club's been hopefully sorted out. I mean, the ground's been bought by these guys, which is a big thing. So hopefully that can connect him with the club when they overtake the club or take over the club. But I think he's been maybe just looking. He's done all he can there. He's done a brilliant job, and I think he's just waiting for his. He just wants to move on now.
I think the money situation had a lot to do with it, though. So I mean, like you can't play with an empty chest. You know, he's got to have funds there, and he's got to be able to get players in. He thinks they're going to get the club back up because there's no guarantee they're going to go straight back up. No. That's a hard league. So obviously Rooney would have had his eye on some players that he maybe wanted to get into the club. With the sort of the preferred bidder changing in the last few weeks, that's probably made his mind up.
Yeah. What do you think, Greg?
I'm not surprised that Rooney left, to be fair. I thought he would have gone sooner, but he showed a lot of loyalty, didn't he? And I've seen a few Derby sort of fans comments, and they're pretty much saying what Cally said. They can't really blame him, to be fair. In terms of next manager, I think it's a tough one because like you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, like it's a hard league to get out of. You look at like someone like Sunderland. You know, they've been stuck down there for 3 years, was it? If not, I think it was 3 years. But, you know, and they didn't have the financial issues that Derby have got. Derby at the moment have obviously only got a handful of players that are actually, you know, that are contracted. So, you know, what is their actual expectations for this season? You know, even if they get bought and get that side of it resolved, realistically, what can they expect this season? What, mid-table or playoffs? You know, it's a tough one. And if you're looking at someone like Sean Dyche, I'm not sure. I know Gary said, you know, it might be a bad move, but I can't see it personally.
I think it'd be brilliant.
Can't you see? You can't see him making the move, or you can't see him being a success.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think he'd be a success in time, but I can't see him making the move, mate. To be fair, I know Derby are a big club, but Sean Dyche to League One, I'm not so sure. I think if it was a team that had dropped down into League One and they had proven financial backing and they was literally going to be one of the big hitters next season. But I don't see that with Derby. I think they're in too much of a mess financially, even if they get bought. I don't really see where Derby are going to be next season. Are they going to be challenging? Probably not.
And the one thing about Sean Dyche for me is if there's one Premier League manager that would do that, it's him.
Yeah,
that's the most down-to-earth guy.
It'd be a project for him, though, wouldn't it, Gal? Because you look at the players. Derby, they've lost a player to Palace just this week, a young, very talented youngster. They've got two this season.
Challenge.
So they've got, so it'd be a project. So I wouldn't surprise if he does go. Like you say, he's an honest bloke as a project. But next season there'll be, if they make the playoffs, that'd be a miracle.
Oh, of course,
they're miles behind. So
yeah, and we'll see how hard that is to get out of that league.
Yeah. The encouragement about the Derby job. The encouragement about the Derby job is that you've got a magnificent stadium there, and the fans, you know, like they see what sort of crowds are getting in every week. So you know, it's not as if Sean Dyche has been asked to go and take over Scunthorpe. You know, you've only got to look at the stadium to be impressed, and then when you look at the crowds they're getting in all last season, even in the situation they were in, I think that's a big card to play to a manager, really.
I think it'd be an interesting question to actually Derby fans as well. Like, you know, if they get this ownership and everything all resolved, genuinely, what is their expectations for this season? Because if that was me, I don't know what I'd be expecting, to be honest. They don't go down again and try and have a respectable season. Is there Derby fans that genuinely think they're going to get back up? I'm not sure. First time round, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he actually went there. But there's no way that they're going to go up next season. If they do, then I'll eat me out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But,
I think they've got a lot of rebuilding Derby to do, as in terms of the team.
The thing is with Dyche as well. I know. Obviously, he likes the project. He's got form. Obviously, when you look at what he done at Burnley and things like that, and he can he's proven that he can work on a shoestring budget. Do you know what I mean? And he can work with British players and that sort of thing. So in that respect, it probably would work.
Oh, mate, it'd be a great. I think
brilliant fit.
Derby.
But regardless of that, Dyche is still going to want, some sort of financial stability. He's still going to want a transfer budget of some sort. You know what I mean? And are they going to be able to offer that? And that's the problem with me. I don't know.
He's still a Premiership manager, isn't he? To drop down 2 leagues, Championship, he'll get a job. But I think Nigel's right though. The potential at Derby is massive. It's a big club. Whatever people say, Forest fans say the opposite, don't they? But it's a massive
He's
club.
Probably the only manager in the Premier League, or maybe not in the Premier League now, but he's the only Premier League manager I think that would actually make that drop. That's my opinion. I think he's such a genuine, down to earth guy. I remember sitting pretty much next to him. I went and watched Watford playing a friendly at Milton Keynes a few years back, just before he got the manager's job at Watford. Yeah. And he just sat there next to a few of us, just watching the game on his jacks, They're just real down to earth. But anyway,
he is. I went to a fans forum thing. We're going back a long time when he was manager, and I met him after and chatted to him and that. And again, really nice guy. Happy to chat to everyone, old school, just decent,
Just want to catch up on people's comments. Simon saying hello, good afternoon. Obviously, we miss you, Simon. Where are you? Come back. Sonia Spong. I hope I got that right. Hello, Cally. It's one of your team there, Nige. Darren Ward. Scared of playing the mighty Mansfield twice. Running scared is tomorrow and there's a shower. So that was a Mansfield supporter looking forward to playing Derby. And we got just having a look. I think you've already put that one up from Ian Hells. Hello, Ian. Hope you're well. Hope the weather's all right in Scotland. And Sean Dyche might it be what salary he would get paid by the Rams that could be the factor? Yeah, I think he would, like you said, Greg, he would want some financial stability for himself, of course, as well.
Another point.
It'll be interesting to see how that develops.
Another point with one quick one about Rooney is that he's not left like Derby, but he'll still get a good job. He hasn't been tarnished by his managerial skills. He's done a good job. And I think it was to stay on at Derby another year, maybe look that way. If they're going to struggle again.
You think he regrets turning down the Everton links, when he basically pulled himself out of it?
I don't know. I think he was too loyal to Derby at the time to do that.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
I think he's a decent bloke. To be honest with you, Wayne Rooney. Not that I've ever met.
I think a lot of people have, obviously when he played, you only see sort of like one side of a bloke or a player kind of thing. And I think a lot of people are gaining a lot of respect for him. The loyalty he's shown to Derby,
and he's still young.
Not sure they respect his missus, but there we are.
True.
Although I do wonder whether the reason for Rooney going was he didn't want to. I believe they're playing Leicester in a friendly, and maybe Mr. Rooney and Mr. Vardy didn't want to clash, unlike their wives. What a fiasco!
Has there been an outcome yet in that?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't.
Jeremy Cole.
That's got to be the biggest shower of shit I've ever seen, and the money that was spent on these 2 wives having a dig at each other, millions of pounds. When we're all struggling, what a fiasco. I mean, Vardy and Rooney, surely they got to be a bit embarrassed, hanging their heads, letting their wives make such public fools of themselves. Jesus Christ. What?
The papers this morning, Foden with his missus.
What happened, sorry?
Phil Foden spattered all day with the sun today. Him and his missus had a massive bust up at this.
She went through his phone or something, didn't she?
Yeah, good.
He went for a swim and she started reading his phone.
Yeah.
That's
probably the Grealish factor, isn't it? He's probably been spending too much time with Grealish.
Mate, we've said this. I mean, we're going to talk about some more things that are relevant, but today's show is the last one for a few weeks until the 21st of July. We're having our summer break. And some of the things reminiscing back, that we've done on this show. And the one thing about this show has been that we've maybe talked about things others won't. And we're quite happy to push the boundaries on our views and everything else and other people's views. And I think we sort of talked about players. I know I have anyway. You know what my opinion is on players. I don't like them basically, and I don't like them. I just don't. They're just in another planet, mate. They may as well live on Mars. They are so detached from reality, and all this bullshit with their wives and that, man. It just highlights and confirms.
Yeah, we were saying earlier, weren't we? We were saying earlier that we're going to end up hating football so much that we're going to have to stop doing proper football.
The one thing about this show, I mean, talking about this show, sorry, just a quick one. Glenn Houston, hi. Hope you're enjoying the show. The one thing about this show, and I guess what it's done for me, it's helped me highlight things I didn't realise. Like we all know, let's be honest, the Premier League and the way it's going, I think we've seen enough banners around the grounds, made by the poor and stolen by the rich sort of banners. Premier League football's moving into a new stratosphere, one where possibly the old traditional fans are not so welcome anymore. And again, going back to past shows, we've had people from West Ham who sit on the fans committee with the directors there have said that they've had Karen Brady say to them, that's something else we'll move into actually, but have said to them, they don't need the traditional and don't particularly want the traditional fan there anymore. But Karen Brady, gentlemen, is she going back to Birmingham? Rumour has it.
With this new, what's happened with the takeover? The
I
details
don't know.
has it gone through? I don't think it has it?
I don't think it's actually. He's certainly not announced that he's
it's all gone quiet,
taken over. But
that's usually what happens with Bassini. That usually all goes quiet.
Oh yeah, I mean, it has been rumoured. I've read it, and I have spoke to someone from West Ham, or from the fan base side of it. Yeah, the rumour is quite relevant that Brady has been connected with a move back to Birmingham City.
That's going to go down well.
Really, that is going to go down so well.
Nothing surprises you in football, though, does it?
No,
nothing. But girl, you hate the players because of the wages they're on, don't you?
Because
I've done a little bit of research here, mate. You can have a look.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just I think doing proper football. I've become a bit anti Premier League anyway, Dan, and as you know, and it is to do a lot with money. And hello, Paul. That's Paul from the Watford podcast there. Cally knows him. I know him. I actually had him on one of my radio shows. I hope you're doing all right, Paul. And yeah, keep the good work up with your shows, mate. But
this is the best earners from each year, girl. The most that someone's on. John Barnes, first 10 grand a week player, first start of the Premier League. But when I look through this, you can see that when the money come in from Abramovich to Chelsea, earning Crespo, did it 94 grand a week. Then you had Frank Lampard, Chelsea, Steven Gerrard. He got 100 grand a week, but that's because he was going to go to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Then you got Shevchenko, Chelsea, John Terry, Chelsea. Then you got Man City, their big money, massive money coming in.
Be Newcastle next.
Yeah, so that's been bumping all this money up, isn't it? It's been bumping up the wages. These big.
I just.
You're not on there, Nigel.
No. we didn't go back far enough for a start. Nigel, we could put his £700 a week from Villa in there, couldn't we? But
this is last season, Gary. This is look at this money they're on the top.
I'm on three digits below that one. Knock the zeros off.
Yeah. Jordan Sancho, 350 grand a week.
Who's in 13th place though? Martial. He was what a waste of space he was.
But look how many Man United players are there.
Yeah.
Do you know? I just think in today's climate, and we're talking about people for and against the strikes that are going on, and people trying to get a pay rise, blah blah blah. And then you look at football players, and you got people sort of kicking off about the strikes, but people are quite happy to go to football and support these people that are on the most ludicrous wages. I mean, they're not real. There's nothing realistic about where this is going, and I know they don't want to look. I know I sound very controversial now. I've got to be honest with you. Oh, we've been shared on TMA. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you. I know. I just think in today's climate, people will eventually start turning their back on football with it, and that again sums up the fact that they don't give two shits about us.
The thing is, you're already seeing the tendencies in the lower leagues. Like they're already getting bigger over the years. So it's like there are fans who have already turned their backs and are supporting their local teams.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
What frightens me though, Greg, and this is something again. Sorry if I'm waffling on. I'll shut up and give you all the chance in a minute, and we'll catch up with the people. But I think for me, again, going back, this show we've been doing for the last however many months it is now, which made us look a lot more, get involved with non-league football. I've been to clubs, I've met owners and chairmen, we've had them on the show, so on and so forth. And the problem is this elitist type of thing that goes on in football. It will roll downhill and it will affect everyone. And we're already seeing it in non-league now. There's an elitist in football non-league. In the National League, there are wages of players on £4,000 a week. You know, even down into National League South and North, there are players on £2,500 a week. Which how's it sustainable? That's the thing. And we know by the Premier League that every single club in the Premier League, and maybe other than what Norwich were doing, pretty much run at a loss. It's only because they've got these big money backers that they Chelsea, Man City all run at a loss. It's unsustainable. And I'm going to say something really controversial now, which is going to piss everyone off. Now, if what we see today, where in the Netherlands they are going to pay the women the equivalent amount of money to the men, if that happens over here, then that will be an end to football anyway. I don't think it will happen over here, to be honest. Like that. I mean, there's got to be some sensible outlook. Women's football has got a long way to go and get the crowds in, get that in. I just hope America's done it, Netherlands done it.
I think sorry to butt in, but I just think with the women's game, I think if you look at this equal pay thing, it's the other countries and people in other countries that are pushing it more than England. Like I've seen a few of the English girls that have been asked about it, and they don't. I wouldn't say they don't want it, but they're not pushing for it. They're not for it. Like whereas they interviewed one of them, and she was saying, well, we understand that the game's a long way behind, and it's a different level, and this. Whereas if you go to America, for example, all the American players and all the people out there, they're the ones that are pushing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just think it's a bit of a. I don't think it's right personally, but
right.
With the Americans also, soccer was big in America because of the women originally. The men weren't interested in it.
Absolutely.
So they've got a bit of a point there, the American women, because they were the ones that promoted the sport.
American women was their sport, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what they played. Right, I've got a lot of comments coming through, gentlemen. If you don't mind me just quickly coming up, Stu Mack has put Dennis Bergkamp 25k a week, and nowadays we have. Here we go. I can't pronounce dodgy names, mate. So I ain't even going to start.
Xhaka, Granit Xhaka.
Oh, right, okay. And Rice on stupid money.
It's Rice, Gary. It's Rice.
Yeah, Rice. I said Rice. Regarding Crayon Munchers is not a sustainable model. EPL, English Prostitute League. It isn't a sustainable model. He's absolutely right. And what's going to stop it, I don't know. Stu Mack again, the game is so arrogant on this island. Selfless, humble clubs and players would wisen up the product and players. Paul Atkins spoke to John Dempsey the other week, and he was telling me that the good old days when he was partnered with Chopper Harris at the heart of Chelsea's defence, and he said the money is now mad. And again, Paul's just also brought up that about the USA women couldn't even beat their men's under 15s. Lol. Jokes aside, the women's game is rising, but is still miles away. Yeah, absolutely. All I'm going to say is the men's game is where it is after 150 years. The women's game is where it is after 20 years. So, yeah, I think that in itself gives an idea of of it needs before they start handing out any more money, because I do genuinely worry for football and money. Right, okay.
Yeah, the point you think you was going to make, because we spoke about it before, is that you think they should bring a cap in women's football while they've got a chance before it gets out of hand like men's football.
Well, I think
wage cap.
I think the authorities fucked up with the men's game. They've not controlled it. Is it the right time now to have some sort of cap? However, a cap can only work if it is worldwide, and it won't be.
But Gail,
all the different authorities around the world, and you know the big wigs that he's got to get past and get approved from, it won't happen. Yeah.
But can I just counteract the argument about players' wages? Or I'm not agreeing with this point at all, because I've looked at it and they said
no. We love an argument. Come on.
The reason they earned the super high wages is due to market forces and the supply and demand. So you've got Sky Sports obviously put millions of pounds in. So you've got to get people to watch it. You've got to have the best product and the best talent, and the talent pool for brilliant players isn't that great. The great players, so they're going to get the top money, and the money is there to cover their. I know you say clubs are at a loss, but the money is there. You can see why the wages go up, but it is. I think it's pushed up by.
And in any other business, mate, you would be deemed as insolvent.
Yeah, but then you say
wages are outweighing the income. How can you do that? How can you even defend it if the wages outweigh the income? And they do, unless you've got an Arab or a Yank sat there giving out loads of money. Abramovich, £1.5 billion over 20 years of loaning them money.
Yeah,
you surely to God. I think even down in the lower leagues, I think you raised it. I think put up a thing about Salford City. That for every £1 of income Salford City get, they're spending £1.43 on player wages.
Well, he's another hypocrite, isn't he, Gary Neville? You know, you saw it when Salford first come to the fore, and they had that documentary, and he was saying we want to do things right, and we don't want to be like these big clubs and spend above our means and all this. Look at them now. Look at Salford now. You know the wages that they're spending and the players. It's just hypocrisy throughout the game.
Well, that's a club that ain't even got hardly any supporters. No,
exactly. Yeah, exactly that.
But they haven't got a support or a fan base worthy. But I do agree with you, Dan. I do see the market forces, and if you're going to have the best, you've got to pay the best. But that business, shall we call football a business, has got to the point now where their income is not as good as their outgoings, and that in any other business.
Yeah, but I know I mentioned the Bosman rule in the other week. In 1990, it started with the Belgian player, I think he was.
Yeah.
But if your contract run out, but then the clubs could keep you, and they could just rip up your contract and pay you what they wanted. So that changed it. Then it went in the players' favour. So that's when it started, which was was it 2 years before the Premier League? And I think it's just snowballed. That snowballed even more, where the players have got the power. They run out of contract, they can demand what they want. So I think that's a bit of a. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know. I think you'll have to go.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
I think the players got the power. As soon as they started getting paid more wages than the manager.
Yeah,
that's when it all started to turn, mate. You know, like everyone said, they bypass the manager, go straight to the chairman. They don't need to go through the manager anymore. Well, and that's the thing. Back in the day, there was never a player at the club that got more money than the manager. He run the show. He was responsible for the wins and the tactics, and that's the way it worked. But it's different now. You know, like you say, wages that players are getting are far more than the managers. The agents are taking their cut. They're already arranging moves for players if they're not happy without.
Oh.
How many of them players that have gone down from the Premier?
You're breaking up, Nigel.
Am I?
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many of them players had already sorted out a move to another club before the season ended? You know, they thought they were going to go down. The agents had probably sorted them out with another club already.
Yeah. I know this is something you wanted to bring up, Gal. Talking about loyalty or money and wages and stuff.
It's sort of. Look, you know, this has been a subject that I guess as proper football we've championed, or I have, is the whole concept of I guess being a dinosaur, you hold on to what we loved, and we don't see. But yeah, exactly. Gareth Bale, you know, it just sort of sums it up for me a little bit because. you know, he's not back Cardiff, or he's turned them down because obviously he can go and play in LA, and Cardiff can't compete with the money. And for me, this guy is multi-millionaire. I mean, he's never going to want for nothing in his life. It just would have been nice, I thought, to go back.
Maybe he'd have a season in America, and then he'll maybe come back to Cardiff after that.
To be honest, I think if it wasn't for Wales reaching the World Cup, I think he would have called it a day. I don't think he's interested. I think it's all about fitness for him. It's all about staying fit, playing regularly, and then obviously going to the World Cup with Wales. And then
I don't think the game's physical in the States either. I think he's just thinking, I can get me match fitness over there. I'm not going to get. I mean, you imagine if he goes into the Championship, he's going to have a target on his back with every old player down there, and there's more chance of him getting injuries in the Championship than there is over there, I think.
Yeah. And there's some better golf courses
I saw a post get put up about the amount of golf courses as well in LA.
I see that post about the golf. Brilliant.
But he'll be living his best life out there, won't he?
Doesn't the American League finish in September, which means he's then got...
do you know what? I don't know how the MLS works. You have this Eastern and Western Conference, and then it goes into playoffs, doesn't it? So,
if they're deciding the playoffs, it goes on a bit longer.
It goes on, because the playoffs.
We're getting hammered with conversation, which is absolutely brilliant. Keep it coming, folks. We love it. We really do. Please get involved. Let me catch up, Stu. Why are players even paid for representing their nation? It should be an honour. You know, much like the Ryder Cup, the ethics should be in. Yeah, okay. I'm no good with words, mate. But yeah, that's an interesting subject. I've got a few more to cover, but we'll come back to that one in a minute because we did touch on that before. Okay, equal pay for. Oh, hang on, they're going that quick. That one jumped. Blimey. Right, where was I up to? Equal pay for international caps. £0, both paid. Okay, I can't. Well, I can. I say all the time, both paid fuck all. I'm not quite sure what that means. In the USA, the women deserve equal money to the men's game, especially at international level. Like Cally said, the women's team were the first. They were. Completely agree with you on that. We keep forgetting that the big butch Americans love a game where they wrap up in motorcycle helmets and padding, make them look like Arnold Schwarzenegger on a good day. Right, Gary Neville. This is from Paul. Gary Neville was a complete hypocrite. He's got a billionaire owner in control. I saw the full documentary, and he moans at United, but needs to look nearer home.
Yeah,
Derby just been bought, evidently.
Yeah, I've just seen that. I just googled that quickly, and apparently they've had a big
news.
Yeah,
breaking news.
They've been bought back by Mel Morris. That's sad.
Right, listen, everyone, keep it coming. We're going to catch up. Quick comment on. I think we've covered this in all fairness already. Guys, your comments there.
Stockport County.
Answer back about the national team. Players shouldn't even be paid to play at the national team. Nigel, did you get paid for playing in the under-21s?
No, what you used to do is you just filled in an expenses sheet. So basically,
right,
you just put down 50 quid for petrol or something like that. But yeah, you just got paid expenses. It was all about playing for the shirt in them days.
Yeah. I don't think it should be paid, or if they should, and I think maybe some of them do give to charity, which is fair enough. But I think whatever money is raised should go back into grassroots football from international football. And these players are already on so much money, and I'm getting boring now. They don't need the money, so let it go back.
That's a great point, Gail. Big Millwall 33-year-old Hatchet man could end Bale's World Cup dream. So in the Championship, you could get. Maybe he wants a bit of protection and playing in the MLS.
Maybe.
That's a fair point, isn't it?
Maybe. Right, thoughts on Stockport County from Sid Freeman. Stockport County, they've sold something like, was it 10...
over 4,000? They sold over 4,000 season tickets, I believe. I'm just looking at it, so I think they probably sold more than that. That was about a week ago.
I mean, they were getting like some of them games over 10,000. I mean, yeah. A big club for where they were, and yeah, they're rightly so should be back in that league. Which
League Two is going to be another cracking league.
I'll
again
be
next
honest.
season,
I don't think there's a lot between the top half of the National League and League Two. I really don't. You've only got to
No,
look
there
at
ain't.
what
Yeah,
Sutton,
agreed.
look at what Sutton done last season. Do you know what I mean? Like I think they fell off a little bit towards the end, but they was flying, weren't they? And there's other teams that have done it as well. Forest Green. I think if you go up from the National League and you get the right backing and that, a lot of sides will be bang up there again, and Stockport will probably be another one.
Grimsby be strong, and all the teams around the playoffs last year was loads, wasn't there? And
Well, we were saying about player wages. You've got players are on probably higher wages in the National League than some of the players in League.
Some of them, like you look at the National League last season. Them, the top sort of 6, 8, 10 teams, they could all slot into League Two and all be comfortable, in my opinion. You look at teams that didn't even go up. The Wrexhams, Chesterfields of the world. Even Torquay to an extent. They're not bad sides.
This reminds me, again, we're reminiscing a little bit today, folks, about what we've been doing on prop football this season. And one of the things that I heard, Dan doing an interview with the Wrexham fans at Bromley when we were doing an away day special. And that the Wrexham fan, come up with what I believe was a fantastic idea. And that was they should amalgamate the National League and League Two, but split it into North and South. One, that would help save money for the clubs, take financial burden of travel away and stuff like that. I thought it was a great idea, and we never really discussed
more local derbies, he said as well. You get
more local derbies, crowds will get bigger.
Good shout. The only problem you've got is obviously it's the EFL, isn't it? You've got EFL, and then obviously you've got National League. It's if you was say talking League One and League Two, then it's probably got potential because it's EFL, isn't it? And it's kind of a discussion they can have with themselves. Yeah. But when you've got two different kind of footballing bodies, I don't know.
Well, it will never happen.
A lot of politics involved in that.
Exactly that. Politics involved,
But Bradford City, we mentioned they've sold over 14,000 season tickets.
Well, £10 a ticket, isn't it?
No, they
always do it year in, year out. Bradford do that.
They got their grounds fantastic and all three sides.
The pricing is amazing, though. You've got to look at the pricing. And something else, just talking about season tickets that we didn't touch on, Dan, was Bromley doing their season tickets at £97.
Yeah, and I was going to get one, and I've got all my mates that live around here. Loads of them have bought them. Some have bought 3 or 4, and I was going to get one. I should have done, but I didn't because we're going to be doing proper football away days going around the country, so I probably won't have a chance to get down. But I should have got it and just. I've got to
catch up with some of these, but before I do, Dan, tell them about the idea you had, which I think is brilliant, and we're going to do it about the FA Cup.
Yep. So when the FA Cup preliminary round starts, which I think is July, the date hasn't come out yet. When they do the draw anyway, we're going to do our own little draw on here. Pick a team out, or maybe pick 2 out. We're not sure yet. If we go to that game, give that team a bit of exposure and find out about them, which would be interesting, wouldn't it? And then if they lose that game, we'll go follow the team who beat them and follow them. Yeah. Or if they win that game and go through, then the team they'll be playing will be focusing on the other team and just follow it all the way through.
The idea, folks, is if you haven't seen some of our away days, go onto our YouTube channel, subscribe, please, and check out some of our away day specials. They're really, really interesting. We get to meet, in some cases, I've interviewed players, and we talk to the owners, and we give a really good
ladies
club and all that. And so the idea is we'll be adopting the very same process, and we literally will pick that one club. Once we've picked that club, we will follow that route all the way to Wembley.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. We can all get involved with that as well, and we just follow, and we just every time that route takes, we'll be there. We will be at the game. We will give it a highlight. We will look at and it like you say, if we follow one team and they get through a couple of rounds and then they lose, we then switch to the losing side.
Well, we should do that as well, but do it with obviously the FA Vars, because obviously that's the finals at Wembley for that, and that is just purely non-league the whole way, isn't it?
That's a good
you
point.
can do similar and do it with that as well.
Yeah. Obviously, folks, buy us a beer because it all costs a lot of money. And hopefully we're going to get a few backers anyway to help us finance some of this. We've got great ideas, but unfortunately it costs money. And we have got something up on our pages called Buy Us a Beer. which is £5. If you're happy with what we're doing, want to help us support what we're doing, any money that's surplus will always go to charity. We're not in this for money.
We're not buying a beer with it either, are we?
Ice beer, £5. Okay, let me quickly catch up on. Okay, Bell's being very savvy. He's only there to terrorise potential American caps prior to the World Cup. Great. If I've missed any, I apologise. I've had quite a few coming on. Big Millwall, you brought that one up, Dan. USA women's team lost 5-1 to a team of 14-year-old boys from Dallas. It was news in America at the time. I think I heard about that. As long as that twat Bassini don't buy them, that's going back to the Birmingham subject. I represent England up here drinking beer against the locals. That is Ian up in Scotland. Quickly on that, I've got to quickly raise. So, Qatari international side, the hosts of the World Cup, got beat byLimerick in a friendly. And
Linfield.
Was it Linfield? I thought it was Limerick.
Yeah.
Linfield beat them. And Watford play them in July out in Austria in a training camp, don't they?
Lingfield or
no,
all right.
But they lost
3 points for
Lingfield, Ireland.
But talking about the women's football, you can't compare men and women's football on obviously the physical aspect. Men are always going to win if it's a similar level, whatever. But I'm looking forward to the women's Euros coming up over the summer.
Yeah, I am as well. Yeah,
because there's watching. I don't know. Did they play Holland the other night? I didn't see.
Yeah,
that.
1-5-1.
Did they? And they're Holland are one of their favourites. So I think it's.
It was 1-1 at half time, and then they won 5-1 in the end. Yeah.
I watched the game against Belgium in the friendly the week before, and it's the standard of women's football has really gone up. I must admit, it really has.
To be honest, England have got some really good players. They really have. I know obviously it's not everyone's cup of tea, is it? But like personally for me, I this is my view on women's football. So I don't mind it. I'll watch it. And fair play to them. I hope it continues to grow. But the thing I don't like is probably the media, to be fair, because they're trying to just shove it down everyone's throat and they're trying to make everyone love it. Whereas, like, at the end of the day, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's the same with everything, isn't it? You know what I mean? Some people like non-league football, some people don't. It's one of them. But I think Sky Sports and the other people like that, they're just determined to make everyone shove it down everyone's throats. And that's probably where the sort of the piss taking and the hate is coming along, because people don't want it. But personally, I don't mind it.
No, listen to Emma Hayes, the Chelsea manager, speak, and she come on after the game, and she's actually she knows obviously what she's took. She's a very good manager. And there's talk of her getting a job in the EFL with a club, and that'd be interesting to see. But
in the Euros, in the Euros last year, she was co-commentator on ITV, and she was probably a better co-commentator than half of the blokes.
Her knowledge is Michael Owen any day of the week.
Yeah, her knowledge is quality, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
but it'd be interesting to see. We've got a good group that we can get through, and it's in it. They've got the first game. I think they're playing in Brighton's ground. Somewhere up north, and they're not playing at Wembley because they said they don't want to fill up. They're not. I think Old Trafford, 70,000. They've sold out.
First game's Old Trafford. Yeah.
They're at Milton Keynes as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, England aren't, but some of the other games are.
I think it'd be good. I did watch the last World Cup with Phil Neville. Was it Phil Neville? And he sort of flattered to deceive, didn't he? But yeah, no, it's anyone who wears an England shirt, whatever sport or men or women, I'll always get behind them. And always ends in failure, but you still get behind them. Apart from the cricket.
Just got to mention this as well. So Bury play their first game back at Gig Lane after 3 years against the Burnley Legends side on the 17th of July. So people get along to that one. Absolutely great. The fact that Bury managed to come back, albeit in a very low league, their first game back. Wouldn't it be good to fill the stadium for them?
No, it'd be brilliant.
I'll be honest. I'm amazed the ground's still there. I would have put the house on being made into flats or something. Do you know what I mean? Like what usually happens, but no, it's refreshing, isn't it?
I hope they can sort it out with
folks. Gig Lane Berry, if you can get along to it, show them some support. Then Palace fans can be.
And they've got they've got a Phoenix club back now, haven't they? They've started again, haven't they, from the bottom?
There's actually been a bit of infighting, I think, because you had the Phoenix club, and then because of what the government done, I think you've got the original club back a bit as well. And I think there's been a bit of
AFC.
That's all sorted now.
Yeah, I was going to share a picture that week with Nigel to look at, and I forgot to do it. I don't know if you ever played on a pitch with the. Oh, hang on.
The flowers.
Nice. Did you ever have to take a corner with one of them blue vehicles behind you? Do you remember them at Chelsea or wherever you played? They used to surround the pitch.
I remember them.
Invalid cars.
The wheelchairs at Vicarage Road, invalid section.
Yeah, the corner between the Rookery and the
Rookery was. Yeah. But yeah, I can't remember any of them blue cars.
I vaguely remember some of them were like late 70s, but I think, like you say, there's only certain grounds that
Stamford Bridge was around
it. Was definitely one of them, and there was a couple of other grounds as well.
See someone taking a corner between a Ford Escort and a.
When I was at Watford, we had a greyhound track round there. And,
yeah.
Did they?
When I was about 17, 18, we had a physio called Pat Malloy. And he was more or less just part-time, because he was getting on a bit. And he's got a Robin Reliant, all right, because he's never passed his test. So it's classed as a motorbike, isn't it? So he's got his L plates on it. And the lads decided they were going to push it round to the other side of the ground and hide it behind some hay. And he's come out and he's threatening the lads. He's going to kill him. If he finds out he's done him, he's going to kill him. And yeah, it's quite funny. But Pat Malloy.
I watched that montage of memories of Nigel Callaghan the other day, and I must admit, every goal I'm thinking, I was at that game. But the one that stuck out for me, and I think I mentioned it to you when I did that interview when we were on the radio a long time ago, and the one that always stuck out for me was the one at West Brom. It just always stuck out for me because I was there on that day, and. I always remember that goal you got at West Brom because it was cracker. Because you took it from almost the halfway line, if I remember. Yeah,
I think the most memorable goal I got was probably the game against Levski Spartak, Bulgaria. Because pretty similar to what the Hungary fans were like, with sort of the abuse they're giving players. But back in them days, there was about 10,000 people watching us train the night before. And we got there, and there was about 66,000 people in the stadium. And they were just really, really hostile. I went to take a corner, and there was a couple of bottles smashing around my feet. They were throwing bottles onto the pitch. And I sort of complained to the referee, and he sort of had to blow the whistle and get him to calm down. And then luckily, we scored straight after. But, to get the equaliser in Bulgaria, it's probably one of the best goals I got. It was a really good victory for us. But I saw how bad the fans were in them sort of countries in them days. And we don't need that back, to be honest.
They haven't got any better, have they? The Bulgarian.
That's what I mean. And everybody seems to be fighting about doing anything about it, Yeah. They're meant to be playing in empty stadiums, but they're still not, are they?
So Ian Hells says the one that sticks in his memory is the goal in the 7-1 win over Southampton. Do you remember that? That was memorable. Yeah. We lost 4-0 at Southampton, didn't we?
First touch of the game it was. I got sent on for Ray Train got concussion. We had a corner. I stood on the edge of the box. All come out to us. First touch of the ball, top corner. 6-1, 17 years old I was then. No, 18 years old.
Wow.
Back of every paper the next day.
Yeah, mate, absolutely amazing.
How old was you when you made your debut, Nigel?
I was 17, I think. I was actually told that it was a year that Watford sort of struggled a bit, and he blooded Kenny Jackett and Steve Cherry into the first team. We were still, with about 5 games to go, we still weren't safe. And on the last game of the season against Burnley, he said he was going to play me. And we won 4-0. And he did say to me, look, if it would have been safe with 5 games to go, I probably would have played you in the last 5 games. But he didn't want to put that sort of pressure on us. So, maybe debut last game of the season.
Did you have many reserve games before that, Nigel, or was it youth team, the under 21?
I was playing in both, to be honest. I was only 8 stone at the time. I had strong legs, but I had a body of a sparrow. So they said that I might not get a game in the reserves that year until I filled out a bit. So I ended up playing virtually every reserve game, and the South East Counties games. And I played Burnley on the Saturday, made my debut on the Saturday, in front of about 18,000 people. And then the next day, I went with the youth team to Southend in front of about 18 people.
Nigel, there's something I've been meaning to bring up with you, actually. Our friend, Casper, was having a chat with me, and he wanted to remind you of a couple of things. He said, first of all, you dominating the gamblers in the old supporters club, the one that used to be in the ground, didn't it? You know, the entrance off of Vicarage Road, off of Occupation Road. He said you used to get on that gambler and no one could get a look in. Remember that? And then it was the yellow TR7.
I weren't on it much, mate.
Yellow TR7.
I had a blue one. Convertible.
TR7. What a car, mate. What a car.
I tell you what, it looked faster than what it was. They're not as quick as you thought they were. But
the sports car of their day, the TR7. Oh dear, oh me. Hello, Darren Gill. Evening. We're Sunday evening. It beats watching Glastonbury. That's all I can say.
Oh, Gary, we haven't touched on who haven't we touched on yet, Gary?
Here we go. What about the teams next year? The odds on them?
Oh, the odds. Go on.
We'll leave Gary Lineker alone for a minute.
Let's do the odds with Cally first. Yes. Cally, you've been doing a little bit of homework on some of them odds. Far away, mate.
Yeah, I was just looking at basically the odds for Derby next year in the League One. And they've got Ipswich at 5-1, top. They're top in the list. Sheff Wednesday at 6-1, and Derby at 10-1. So they seem to be the top three. I don't know how Ipswich have become 5-1, to be honest.
No. So none of the three that went down are in the top three to go back up then.
Yeah. And then
Barnsley, wasn't it? Barnsley
14-1.
Yeah, I mean they're a bit of a.
They're a bit of a yo-yo club, though.
There is a gap. There is a big gap between the Championship and the first League One. I think there is a bigger gap than the other leagues. But it also went down with Derby. Derby
10-1 they are.
Derby, Barnsley, and what's the other one?
I can't think. Watford? Was it Watford? Oh, that's next season.
You've got in the Championship, you've got Norwich 6-1, Watford at 7-1, West Brom at 9-1, Middlesbrough at 9-1, Sheffield United at 10-1, Burnley at 14-1, and then Swansea 16-1 along with Huddersfield.
I think
Burnley's good value there.
I think with Burnley, obviously they're looking at the money that they're going to have to repay, but in credit to Burnley, they've already gone out and got their striker, haven't they? They got that Scott Twine from MK, so they've already gone and addressed that area. West Brom have done a bit of early business. They got that Jed Wallace from Millwall on a free, and they went and got is it Swift from Reading as well on a free. So not players that are going to get you off your seat, but reliable Championship players, early doors, bit of business.
Yeah.
And West Brom, I think they'll always be up there or thereabouts. I think Sheffield United will be there or thereabouts as well.
Steve Bruce has settled in a bit now, and I think I think West Brom will do all right next season. But there's so many teams, isn't there? And you get a few surprise ones like Huddersfield, Luton this season.
Well, that's it. Who would have predicted them two last season being up there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, 33-1.
I think they'll get found out. I don't know if that's the Watford fan in me, but I think they will be found out next year.
Yeah.
Possibly,
Burnley's great value there, 12-1, Kelly. That's got to be worth a little
definitely.
I think. Yeah.
Well, company's going to get a bit of help from City, isn't he? He's going to be getting some loan players, definitely. So
what about Premier League? That's surely a one-horse race at the minute, isn't it?
4-7 Liverpool, 2-1. 4-7 Man City, 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool.
Is anyone else? Seriously, chaps, is anyone else going to get a look in? I even think Liverpool can struggle to get a look in.
Yeah,
I think it's a 2-horse race, but you could almost say it's a 1-horse race.
Yeah.
Well, they bought Phillips this week, haven't they, City? So that's another good signing for him.
I think the more interesting thing in the Premier League now is obviously you expect City to win it, expect Liverpool to be the ones challenging. But, you look at the signings that Arsenal are being linked with making or have made, and then you look at Spurs as well, the early business they've done. Them two are really going to put the pressure, you think, on the likes of Chelsea and United and that,
So the competition in the Premier League really is going to be about who gets in the top four, isn't it? It's not actually going to be...
Yeah.
Dan, going back to what we were discussing about the product, is a product of value when it becomes so 1-horse race?
Well, that's definitely. But I think that's the top four. But the top four, like you say, that becomes like a trophy, doesn't it? Which it shouldn't. It was pathetic, but it does because of the money and getting in the Champions Leagues. But no, you're right.
But you're like a Palace fan. Like you break the Premier League down. And it's like kind of got, different sort of achievements for different clubs kind of thing. You could break it down into sort of 5 or 6 different things. You've got teams that want to stay up. You've got, I think, is it like £1 million per place as well? Yeah. So, you look at someone like Palace, if they can sneak sort of top 7 or 8 now, then you get into that Conference League, which, okay, is Mickey Mouse, but a team like Palace,
I'll take your hand off for that.
Of course you would, yeah.
You'd your hand off for it. But it has become sanitised, though, isn't it, really? You mid-table, you're happy. You look at the season, Palace done all right. I mean, you think, well, we haven't won nothing. We've got some good exciting players, but we ain't never going to win the Premier League. It's not. No. It's just.
You got Arsenal at 66-1. Tottenham at 14-1. You're comparing Tottenham and Arsenal. That's made some good signings, but 14-1 on Tottenham and 66-1 on Arsenal.
It's a big difference there.
You got anything about the clubs going down there at all, Nigel? They got any odds on relegation? Or?
It's got the bottom 4, the bottom 5, let's say, Leeds 750-1. This is to win it. So no, it's only got the outrights.
I've got relegation here if you want it.
But I mean, we spoke a little bit last time we was on about the 2 signings that Liverpool and City have made, Haaland and the other guy from Portugal. Any thoughts on who's going to make the biggest impact on the league?
Haaland, I think.
Yeah.
But Man City are going to have to change their style of play a little bit, I think, to suit that big number 9.
But if they do that, do you not think it'll make them even more bloody invincible?
I think it'll improve them. Yeah.
I think they let themselves down from time to time. I think they lack that killer instinct up front.
Yeah. I've got the relegation odds if you want them, by the way.
Yeah. Go on. What you got?
So Bournemouth 8-11, Forest 4-5, Fulham 11-8. I'll do, and then Leeds and Wolves 3-1.
So basically, and this is going to be the same every season. No teams that go up are going to be favourites to go straight back down. The Premier League will get more and more like that, I think, and become more elitist. But that's my. I
think Wolves are going to struggle a bit. I don't know why. Just something. I've got a feeling that they might.
The fans have turned on them. A bit. I don't think the fans are that very. They're not massive lovers of their manager. They had a good season. It was turgid 1-0. It was boring football. Like that.
I think with them, I think when you've had a manager like Nuno, it's like they loved him, didn't they? And it's like, where'd you go from there kind of thing? And it was always going to be hard for that next manager. And to be fair to him, he done well. There wasn't any relegation battle or anything last year, was they?
I think the towards the end of Nuno, the Spirito, was it? But I think towards the end of his thing, he was getting, I don't think the fans were that. Some of them, there was a few, or you get a few, every club who never out here. Yeah. But I think Southampton are going to
struggle.
Be one of the teams to struggle. But
I think it'll be interesting with Southampton because Ward-Prowse got them out of a hole so many times last season. If he goes, then that's huge, isn't it? Really, if he stays, then
it could be Palace. You never know. We've got a tough start, and that could start.
What a Palace 6-1, which is tight, to be honest.
Sorry, chaps, we're in extra time now, so we're going to have to wrap it. So before we say our goodbyes, and I thank yous and everything else for everyone supporting us this year, and we look forward to really exciting next year with proper football. Before we do that, one. We do like controversy. We do like pushing the boundaries on here. And here's one controversy and boundary we're going to push. And this is our friend, Mr. Lineker.
Yes, let's get it up.
You got
Friend?
a
Strong word, isn't it?
So, I don't know if you guys. I mean, we have to be a bit careful, I suppose. But I don't know if you've seen some of the pictures on social media.
It's been fantastic.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
This guy's got to be one of the biggest jokes in football, isn't he?
Yeah. I think what it is with him, he's always had his views, isn't he? And everyone's kind of gone, I don't agree with this, I don't agree with that. But this whole racist abuse thing that he said that he received or experienced, he's even been taken the piss out of by well-respected people who you guess respected him. But I haven't seen a single bit of support for him. It's madness.
Mate, he would not have got racist abuse. The only thing I can think of is, mate, is because of these, he's been compared to a monkey, and he thinks that's racist abuse because of monkey chanting. I think the nearest he's come to it is he looks like a fucking chimp with them ears. Jesus.
Yeah.
If he wants some abuse, have it over his earlugs. I mean, listen.
Someone said, though, he said he had a couple of players do it to him, and then they said, well, why don't you name them? Because you're all about bringing out and naming them. And then I know you probably want to drag someone in from 30 years ago when it was a different time, but name them if you're that for this cause. But yeah, I don't have to agree with what he says. Good luck.
Bring it up.
He mentions about abuse. Like I tell you, all he has to do is go pop down a local pub, then he'll know what abuse is. Because the way his comments have been recently, people will lay into it. Not just about that, but about other things as
Loads of things, mate. He's woke.
He's unbearable, mate. He's unbearable.
He's woke personified and an embarrassment of football.
I think I said to you, didn't I? I got to a point where I'm thinking, is someone actually paying him to tweet this information?
Mate, probably
a reaction
because there's so many agendas.
Is that ridiculous? That is he actually being bloody told or paid to post this shit just to kind of like cause controversy?
So, I remember when he shit himself on the pitch for England, didn't he? Sorry to change the subject a bit in the World Cup. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In the Italian 90, he had to go on, and you see him.
Yeah, go on, shit himself.
Yeah.
Listen, look, I will say.
I hope you're enjoying your Sunday dinner.
In his day, he was a good player. I see him play a few times. He was a good player, but we just want to watch football. We don't want to know that encouraging people to take refugees in their homes and all the other woke things. He was anti-Brexit, anti-this. Just keep your mouth shut and do your job and talk about football. You were a good player, but you are one dick of a presenter because of your views. We don't need them. So shut up. Right. Finishing that on a nice controversial note. So folks,
we've got Gary Lineker next week.
People briefly.
Now that would be interesting.
We're going to have a summer break because we all need now to go to Las Vegas and have a holiday after a long, hard season of proper football. The truth of the matter is we all got to go out and carry on work. But anyway, but we are going to have a summer break for I think it's 3 weeks, not even 3, 2.5 weeks. We're back on the 21st of July. In the meantime, we will be carrying on. We're going to do some interviews. I'm going to try and talk Cally into a full-on interview. If he'll have it, we'll see. He ain't come back to me on that yet, but we're waiting. We get him in for a proper interview. And we got some, obviously, Jason Morgan. I know a lot of you wanted to hear that with the new book that is out. It's all about the buzz. There will be a proper full-on interview done with him very, very shortly, which we'll put out on YouTube. All I would say is to everyone, thank you for watching, supporting proper football. I would also like to thank Cally, who came on originally as a guest and has never gone since. He loved it that much. That was it. Greg, welcome on board. You're the new boy, and you bring a bit of a younger stance to the show for us. Dan, as always, brilliant. Thank you. And Simon, who's not with us now, and all the other people, many people. Colton Town, Billericay Town, thank you. Chesterton and Hawke, thank you. And if we've missed Histon, all the clubs we've done there, so we thank you. And next season, it's going to be bigger and better and enjoy it. But please all get us a pint so we can pay for it.
Okay, I'll just thank you. If you've got yourself in.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Don't embarrass me. Right, we'll do a quick round the table, and then, folks, we'll call it a day. Keep an eye out for any interviews that we're going to get done over the next few weeks, and we'll see you back again. I do wonder whether this Sunday slot's not a bad idea, but we shall see.
Yeah,
If not, we'll be back on the Thursday, but I quite like the Sunday slot, but we may even end up doing both. Who knows? Right, round the table quickly, Dan.
I've enjoyed it this season. It's been great. Like you said, meeting loads of new people, just watching more grassroots stuff, and
Brilliant, yeah.
it's really been interesting, mate. It's been a really good journey. I've really enjoyed it, and looking forward to the next season.
Cool, Greg.
Yeah, mate, I'm glad to be on board. Obviously, try and grow the pages and stuff like that, and get a bit more support and stuff. And next season, getting out and about and going to a few towns and non-league grounds that I've not been to.
Fantastic, mate. Can't wait, mate. Brilliant. Cally.
Yeah, just
resident ex-pro.
Thank you to everybody who's joined us over the past 3 months, including all my lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Ronaldo's a CR7, Callie's got a TR7.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone who's joined us. Obviously, we want to get more people involved. So I look forward to next season. Onwards and upwards.
Absolutely. We can really make it work next season. And we get some bigger names, players in, and all sorts, hopefully. So, and for me, like I say, the only thing I will say quickly, I forgot to mention it, that you may have heard earlier in the month, we were talking about the debacle of non-league restructuring and clubs being put in leagues that meant their travel expenses flew through the roof. Carlton Town were one of them. They put a really good appeal in and lost. So they now have to swallow playing teams like Newcastle. Don't make no sense. Anyway, that's, So thank you all. Please. We really would like to build the YouTube channel. So please, if you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And there's a lot more on there, by the way. So all our previous shows are on there and our away days. And I've only really done the one interview with Danny Fenn from West Ham. If you're a West Ham fan, check that one out. Honestly, it's all about West Ham. Have a look at it. And if you're not a West Ham fan, it's still quite good. Right.
So just remind my lot that are on here that I'll be on our past state on Mixcloud. Right?
Well, right. Yeah, let's not forget Cally on every night. He's on at 8:30 tonight. Fantastic music.
Because
he beats Glastonbury hands down.
It's me advertising on Facebook, the suds.
Yeah, get on there, Mixcloud. There's the link up there. We're going to give it a couple of seconds there for that link. He's better than Glastonbury, so get on there. Gentlemen, really thank you. And we'll obviously keep working, I know, but behind the scenes. But 21st of July, unless we decide we want to do more on a Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But people just keep an eye out.
See you all next week.
See you all next week. Yeah. So enjoy a bit of summer, and we'll see you in a few weeks. Au revoir, everybody.
Yes.
See ya.
That's nice.